Okay, so from CMM, the information leaks from the Russian World of Tanks Blitz Information Central, going through translating a bunch of things from a developer stream where the community was asking them questions and getting some answers back. And one of the things that were mentioned had something to do with the long-awaited line that was going to be coming out in 2022. And when going through and translating a lot of what was going on and what was being said, there were some speculations about it potentially being the Japanese line, maybe the Japanese heavy tanks. But as we know from what's been previously said from World of Tanks Blitz, is that Japanese heavy tanks are apparently too big, which I think is kind of funny because if you look at the Tier 7 Predator, it's almost like the same size as the Mouse. So they already have some pretty big tank. The Type 5 Heavy is really big. And I would say that may be one that could be very long awaited. However, doing some further investigation and translating into the post that was made by CMM, I found this part that was talking about the new light tank branch that is apparently going to be introduced into World of Tanks Blitz around that time frame and in super testing. And it's very interesting because if you look at the tech tree from World of Tanks PC, these tanks are already in there. However, some of these tanks that we already have in the tech tree are different than the ones at different tiers in World of Tanks PC. Like if you look at the LTTB, it's a tier 8, whereas in Blitz, it's a tier 7. So, and you look at the T-54 lightweight, it's a tier 9. But there's two tanks in this line that we don't have. And one of the ones that they're referring to is the tier 10 T100 LT light tank, and another one that they have at tier 7, which is the LTG. Now, the LTG, from looking at it, I was watching some World of Tanks Blitz replays, and I'd say a lot of what comes with this tank is what you would expect from a light tank. It's got really good maneuverability. It also doesn't have very much armor at all. It has some very interesting angles on the side of its turret, which maybe looks like you could get some bounces depending on what medium or other light tanks you do come across. But those sides can get quite easily penetrated by other heavies or tank destroyers. It's not a lot of armor. So like I said, it's what you'd expect from a light tank. The other thing is I went into the armor inspector looking at this thing, and it only has 5 degrees of gun depression, which sometimes is what you can expect when it comes to Russian mediums, Russian tanks, and just in general not having the greatest gun depression. And so that's what we also see here with the LTG. The tier 10, the T100 LT, has that very similar feel to it. Very quick, agile tank, really get up and go, get to those effective positions for spotting, potential help with map control. And it also has a very, very low profile. When I first saw this thing, it almost looked like, it kind of reminded me of the T11OE5's turret, but just like really flat. How it's like kind of stretched. It's not like a perfect circle like what you'd see in Object 140 or T62A, but very easy to penetrate. And once again, also 5 degrees of gun depression. Now, the stats from World of Tanks PC compared to when they bring things out in World of Tanks Blitz, we know is going to be different. We can probably get a guess or a good feel that this is how it may similarly feel like in Blitz, just altered in a way to fit Blitz itself. So I don't know. I would be really curious with the Russian light tanks coming into the game, if this is something that is long awaited for in your definition. Is Russian light tanks, which it looks like the only ones we're missing compared to the Comet Translated, and looking at it in the World of Tanks PC tech tree, the only ones we're missing is the T100LT and the LTG. And from my perspective, it wasn't anything that was long awaited for me, or may it be something else? I'd be really curious. However, this comment, based on what I had translated in this response of it being the T100LT, was more of a member of the community that just seemed pretty knowledgeable but didn't work for wargaming or part of the CMM that made the post. And so anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this vid. Some curiosity around this, but there's supposed to be some long-awaited tech tree or branch that's coming in to Blitz 2022. This is the Muffin here. You guys stay cool and keep tanking.